Okay, so now we are reading this is Kane Betwa Link project. It is related to GS paper 1 geography in mains and environment. A memorandum of agreement was signed between the Jal Shakti Ministry and the government of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh to implement the Kane Betwa Link project. What is Kane Betwa Link project here? It is the first project under the National Perspective Plan for the interlinking of rivers. So in this plan, basically they are interlinking with the rivers as per the National Perspective Plan. Under this project, basically, water from the Kane River will be transferred to Betwa River. From Kane River, it will be transferred to Betwa River in two phases. Both these rivers are tributaries to the river Yamuna. These both are tributaries to the river Yamuna. The project is expected to provide annual irrigation of 10.62 lakh hectares, drinking water supply to about 62 lakh people, and generate 103 megawatt of hydropower. So there are many benefits of this project. As we read in this thing, that the project is expected to provide annual irrigation also, which is 10.62 lakh hectares, drinking water supply about 62 lakh people, and generation of 103 megawatt of hydropower. Now let's look into the map that where it is located. It is tributary to Yamuna, and there is a Betwa River project in Madhya Pradesh. So why Kane Betwa Link project required? So Kane Betwa Link project lies in the Bundelkhand, a drought prone area. Means it's a drought prone area. So it will definitely benefit this area. It will benefit the water starved district of Madhya Pradesh. Where water is required, they will get the benefit from this project, and Uttar Pradesh in Bundelkhand region. Uttar Pradesh also will be get benefited by it in Bundelkhand region. It will pave the way for more interlinking of river projects to ensure water availability for development in the country. So basically, through this project, interlinking of river project to ensure water availability for development in the country. Here, country will develop by the interlinking of projects, and it will ensure the water availability here. Why Kane Betwa Link project would affect Panna Tiger Reserve? About 6,017 hectares of forest area will be submerged under Dhuadam Dam of the Kane Betwa Link project. Of about 4,200 hectares of the area lies within the core tiger habitat of Panna Tiger Reserve. Which are the examples of river linking project? Periyar project of transfer water from Periyar Basin to Vengai Basin was commissioned in 1895. Other projects include Parabikulam Ayar, Kurnool Kodapah Canal, Telugu Ganga project, and Revi Bias Satluj. What was the idea of interlinking rivers mooted? When it was mooted idea of transferring surplus water from a river to water deficit area was mooted by the Union Irrigation Ministry. Basically, it is under the currently it is under the Jal Shakti Ministry only. So earlier it was called, that is, the Union Irrigation Ministry in 1970. The idea was to construct a national water grid for transferring water. Basically, they want to construct a national water grid for transferring such water. Another proposal was the construction of Garland Canal to redistribute water from one area to another. In 1980, a National Perspective Plan was prepared for water resources development envisaging interbasin water transfer in the country. The National Perspective Plan comprised two components basically. First is Himalayan river development. Second is peninsular river development. Based on the National Perspective Plan, the National Water Development Agency identified 30 rivers link, 16 peninsular and 14 Himalayan components. Now, Kane Betwa project is a part of peninsular component. Who gives clearance to for cane linking for water linking projects basically? So generally we know that different types of clearance are required for such project. These are techno-economic feasibility given by the Central Water Commission. So Central Water Commission is in the picture here, who can give the clearance to such thing, and they will give that the techno-economic feasibility clearance has been given by the Central Water Commission. Now the forest clearance and environment clearance by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, and also there is a resettlement and rehabilitation of plan of tribal population by Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Arjun Munda was the minister here. Now the wildlife clearance by Central Empowered Committee. So this article is completed. Now we have another article, that is water challenge in urban India. It is related to economy, that what are the challenges are facing urban area related to water. So in 2019, India set a goal to provide tap water connection to all rural families within 5 years. Less than 2/5 of that goal has been met so far. Now the government aims to include urban India to tap water connection through Jal Jeevan Mission Urban. There was a two mission in this project, that is Jal Jeevan Mission Urban and Jal Jeevan Mission Rural. So the challenge to replicate the goal in the cities could be much greater and time consuming. Water crisis in urban area. Cities and villages faced vastly different water crises. Cities have better infrastructure and less agriculture and that uses water intensively. Cities basically have a vastly different water crisis. Cities have better infrastructure and have less agriculture that water intensively. But due to the growing urban population, that can't remain an advantage, as the cities face growing threat of day zero. They will dry up. So the city have a threat of day zero here, that is the day they will dry up the water basically. So the several Indian metros already face this issue every summer. Like we know that the Bangalore also has this pointed here. Now the disparity in tap water connection. What is the disparity here? The poorest family in urban India are more likely, 44%, to have a piped connection for their drinking water than the richest in the rural area, that is 33%. Yet 4 in 10 urban households lack access to piped water, that varies widely across state. From 96% access in Goa, and there is only 18% in Bihar. So Goa has a 96% access in tap water and Bihar has only 18%. Around 15% of these families do not get enough water throughout the year. The new JJMU aims to bridge the gap in 5 years. So the new Jal Jeevan Mission Urban aims to bridge this gap in 5 years basically. So conserving underground water. Installed piped connection is only a makeover step when compared to conserving the groundwater table. Groundwater is used for around 64% Indian water irrigation need, and 85% of rural drinking needs and 50% of urban water drinking needs. So how much it would be helpful for us to if we have a groundwater table. So the rising population density in cities and heavy irrigation uses in villages is drying up groundwater resources. Now agriculture in Punjab and most of Rajasthan have a dig deeper than other states to reach groundwater. Now the heavy water pattern is gradually moving towards cities. The shares of irrigation in total water could dip to 73% by 2025 and 83% in 1997 to 1998. This reflection groundwater management by cities. The groundwater levels in Bangalore, Ahmedabad, Delhi have declined over 18% between 1998 and 2018. So it means that this is only 20 years of a span. The water has been declined by 80% in Bangalore, Ahmedabad and Delhi. So this means India per capita water availability is also depleting fast. So India have the fourth least per capita water availability among the group of G20 nations after Saudi Arabia and South Africa and South Korea. So India is only have a fourth least per capita water availability. So the rate at which this per capita availability has declined 1990 has been the third fastest for India with an annual depletion of 1.5%. Role of local governments. In cities, these problem of per capita availability may be growing faster than it can be solved. This put the onus on local governments to build infrastructure for better water recycling, retreatment and reduce wastage. The 15th Commission has recommended 30% of the state financing to rural and urban bodies be tied to their performance on water supply and management. So it is a very important recommendation. I'll repeat it, that the 15th Water Finance Commission has recommended 30% of state financing to rural and urban local bodies be tied up to their performance on water supply and management. Means what are the water supply and management they have to do. 30% of their financing should be in that area. It is recommended by the 15th Finance Commission. For cities with million plus population, 2/3 of a new challenge fund will be made available based on performance on drinking water supply. Now, rainwater harvesting and water cycling among other priorities. Safe drinking water. Almost half of the urban India do not drink water at all before consumption, which could be a severe health risk. Means half of the urban India do not treat drinking water at all before consumption. So means they are directly taking this water. Half of the half of the other urban population get it filtered to make it drinkable. Now 13 state capitals including Patna, Bhopal, Bengaluru, Lucknow, Chennai, Kolkata do not pass the quality test conducted by the Bureau of Indian Standard. Means in these cities the water is not as per the quality test conducted by the Bureau of Indian Standards. Now what is the way forward in this case? That India ranks 13th in the list of the most water stressed countries. So India has a rank of 13th in the list of the most water stressed countries. However, water stress can be solved through proper management. If the proper management is there, this problem can be solved. Several water scarce countries such as Australia and Saudi Arabia have shown the pushing way from day zero is possible. means means they said that the day zero is possible. So now the policies in India are moving towards urban area. India has a chance to set an example for the world. Now policies are moving towards urban areas, and India has a chance to set an example for the world.